Hello again, everyone. In this technical analysis of the stock market video, I call it extreme valuations because that's exactly where we're at with the Nasdaq. And the S&P is probably not far behind, but the Nasdaq 100, and I know I'm showing the Nasdaq Composite Index mainly because that's the one I evaluate and look at. The Nasdaq 100 chart and the Nasdaq Composite chart are almost identical. But the Nasdaq 100 is sitting at a little over 36 price earnings ratio, this article I just read today. And they talk about how it tops 36, price earnings ratio 36 for the first time since 2004. And that compares to the last 10-year average of 22. So we are getting a little bit extreme. Before we get into this, just a quick plug. Just want to talk about, if you want more of this kind of information, more of this insight, head on over to joehenches.net and check out the website and check out the membership. Okay, let's dive in and take a look at what we've got on the screen. We've got weekly charts here, and I'm showing the comparison between the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, and the Dow Industrials. Clearly, the Nasdaq has been the strongest, blowing way above the February highs. The S&P 500 is literally 42 points away from breaking the intraday high here that was back in February, the week of February 16th. The Dow is lagging a little bit further behind, but I tell you, these weekly closes where they closed pretty high. It's the highest weekly close like on the Dow since the week of February 23rd. Okay, so well above the last several months in terms of where we closed on Friday. So, the price action is what the price action is. And let's take a look at the Elliott Wave picture that we've got. Over here on the Nasdaq Composite, I've clearly got it in a fifth wave, and we're going to dive into that this week a little bit more. The S&P 500, I have moved to a flat as my preferred count. It's possible that this is a wave 4 complete down here. Similar to the Nasdaq, and that we're in a fifth wave. It's just not really clear yet. This looks like 3 waves right now, and a B wave in a flat can go beyond the beginning of wave A. Now, in the Dow Industrials, I'm not changing it. I'm still sticking with this wave 1 down, wave 2 back until and unless it pushes up here and starts threatening, doing like what the Nasdaq did. But we'll see. 1 week at a time right now. So let's focus on the Nasdaq Composite. Let's dive in and take a look at this. This is the weekly view. You can see how this big long-term channel that we've had here, pretty nice channel for the Nasdaq since March of 2009. Here's what I was trying to pull up. So you can see the price channel that this has been in, very nice and clean. The move down that happened in March clearly broke below that channel, but because we came up and took out this high, we have to be in this kind of wave structure, I believe, okay, and doing a fifth wave in here. And the fact that we overshot below the channel, we're overshooting on the top end of the channel. Let's drill in and take a look at the daily chart. Okay, here's how the price action looks on the daily chart for the Nasdaq Composite. Okay, so here is the March 23rd low, and we've come up. We've had a very strong third wave in here. That took us above the prior high. And right now, I think we're in a fifth minor wave. I think that this final push in here, when complete, is going to complete 5 waves and is going to complete that fifth intermediate wave of this whole cycle from March 2009. And so I do think we've got a little bit further to push to the upside. We could go to the top of the channel here, but I am looking for a little more push here on the Nasdaq Composite. Let's take a look at the Mcclellan Summation Index for the Nasdaq. Okay, the Summation Index is a summary basically of the Mcclellan oscillator. Okay, this is the Nasdaq Mcclellan oscillator. Keep one on the New York Stock Exchange also. So you see it's been pretty choppy lately. It's doing the same thing on the New York. I would say we're just almost just slightly above what I call the neutral zone in here, just ever so slightly overbought. But when you look at this Summation Index, this is really saying that it's not confirming this last push up in the Nasdaq. Okay, just like it didn't confirm it back in the spring when we went from January into the high in February, and the Summation index didn't confirm it, and that's a pretty big negative. And of course, we're getting a lot of other very extreme readings out of the, the put to call ratios and several other things. So now I want to move into and take a look at the three big stocks in the Nasdaq, the Nasdaq S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and basically almost in the world, really. When you look over here at Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon, you can see what the heck is going on. We're looking at weekly views. You can see the explosion that's occurred. Apple, I read just yesterday, I think it was, that Apple is now possibly the largest company in the world. And I think its value is about 90% of the entire Russell 2000. I mean, that's incredible. Of all the stocks in the Russell 2000, you add them all up, and Apple's about equal to 90% of all those stocks. That's just amazing. Talk about extreme valuations. Okay, so if we drill down in here and take a look at the daily view, and let me just convert these all over to daily, you can see where these things surpassed the February highs and how far they've gone. Now, I mean, Apple's had a pretty big run, and here's the other thing. This almost looks like 5 waves in here to me. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. This looks like 1, 2, very strong, 3 like we just had, and 4, and then 5th, and you could even almost say that we've got five little waves within the 5th wave. We'll see what happens in here. We're not getting strong divergence there, though. Okay, so we'll see how this plays out. I'm not seeing the divergence on the DI plus or DI or on the RSI, but we're definitely getting this gappy move here in this last push over the last couple of weeks. All right, let's take it back down, because the last thing I just wanted to do is just compare, how far these have gone. You can see Microsoft, pretty big valuation on Microsoft, but in terms of taking it above where the February high, it's not that much higher above it. I mean, clearly it's a pretty significant move, but look at Amazon. I mean, it's just incredible. From about 20, let's call it 2190, to all the way up here, bouncing around and oscillating around 31 to 3200 now. That's just incredible. Well above that high in here, but of course we understand why that is going on. So the real question is, how much longer can this continue to go on? We'll see. Looking for at least a little more push in the Nasdaq, and maybe we'll see a push above the all-time high in the S&P 500 this week. All right, that's it for this week. If you felt like the video was helpful, give it the thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber, hit that little subscribe button. And if you would like to have more of this kind of information, we dive into this in a lot more detail every day over on the website. Head on over to joehenches.net right there. Check out the membership. Everyone have a great rest of the weekend and a great week. Be safe. We'll talk to you on the next video.